What's good, people? Back with another video, and this is not my normal type of video, but yesterday evening I was sat at home on the sofa watching Real Madrid play Benfica in the Champions League, because obviously Arsenal aren't in the knockout stages. We are playing Wolverhampton tonight. But I thought to myself, let me watch this game, see what's going on. To be fair, I only caught the second half of the game, but as I turned on, I just missed Vinny's goal. What a goal it was. Absolute screamer from the left-hand side. Like, worldy of a goal. And, he's a good player. He's a player that, I wish Arsenal looked at last season when we were struggling. When we thought we were going to be struggling on the left-hand side, which we seem to have kind of sorted out now. But, yeah, great goal from Vinny. Can't really knock the keeper on that one. No chance of saving that top bins. But then he decides to celebrate. Starts kind of dancing at the corner flag, which I was laughing when I saw the celebration. Because, it's not... You don't really see that type of celebration in the Premier League anymore unless they are like of a South American descent or African descent, where they just naturally dance and have a lot more rhythm and soul in their celebrations and stuff like that. It's just kind of stuff they do. And it's accepted. It's nothing crazy, However, the only thing that looked a bit crazy was the fact that I started seeing the bottles getting thrown onto the pitch. And that's when I realised that he's actually celebrating in front of the home fans. Real Madrid are playing away. Whereas normally what we see now is we see our players, when they score, they go and celebrate with their fans. He didn't give a, he went over to the nearest corner flag and celebrated there. And I could only see, there may have been a section of Real Madrid fans, but what I could see on the cameras was Benfica fans, and they were agitated. They were fuming because why are you celebrating in front of us? They decided to throw bottles. Some of the players are coming over, like, move away. And I think that's perfectly normal. This is football, and there could be a rivalry between Benfica and Real Madrid that I'm unaware of. I don't follow Benfica in that way, or the Portuguese league. I do watch some of the Liga games, but I don't follow the rivalry between Benfica and I don't think there is a rivalry between them. Maybe there is, I don't know. But what I will say is if you celebrate in front of rival fans, they're going to get agitated. And yeah, but the point where for me it goes west is the fact that, yes, the fans are then throwing stuff, they're saying stuff, they're shouting, they're fuming, they're like, mate, what are you doing? You can't celebrate in front of us like that. Then it's down to the players to go, you know what, cool, let's go score a goal. Let's make this 1-1. And that's how the players respond. But one of the Benfica players, Argentinian players, decided to respond by lifting his shirt over his mouth like this and saying something. We don't know what's said, but what we do know is that Vinny said that he racially abused him. He called him a monkey. So that's not what Vinny said. Mbappe has said that, oh, my feet are really cold, sorry. Mbappe has said that he said the monkey word 5 times when he lifted his shirt up, and he heard him saying it. And the thing is, it's like, I was watching this game live as it's happening, and the ref's done the sign like this. I didn't know what that sign meant. I had no idea what he was doing. I thought he was calling the game off because of the incident in the corner with the fans and throwing the bottles and stuff, but it wasn't. So how would you want this to be handled? What are the instant impact or outcomes do we want to see? Now, for me personally, I would say I can only relate to myself and say, right, if I was at work, someone's racially abused me, and I'm using this term lightly as in like, Vinny's almost gone and run and told the teacher the way you would at school, or run and told his boss the way he's gone into the referee. The person who's controlling who has the authority, that's who he's gone to. And, rightly so, because if Vinny reacts physically to this player, Vinny gets sent off. And then Benfica are playing against 10 men. Maybe that was their intention, to rile him up and get him sent off, because they're like, look, we don't want you doing that again. Try and antagonize you and get you sent off. Maybe that was the plan all along. But for the referee to stop the game, cool. But we've got VAR. Surely something could have been said and say, look, this player needs to come off. Whether he gets sent off or he gets substituted off. Now, me personally, I thought if you substitute him off, then that's okay. I feel sub him off. I don't know how good a player this is. I've never even heard of the geezer before, I'm not going to lie. But take him off, bring someone else on, restart the game. The game was about to restart anyway. And then that's when it was said. But that's how I would see it being handled at work. If I was being racially abused, physically abused, any type of abuse, I would want the perpetrator removed until further investigation. The victim shouldn't have to leave the pitch. The victim shouldn't have to leave work. But it's almost like, I don't know, I feel like there's a stigma around Vinicius Jr. where people think he's just got this victim mentality, but he gets abused a lot, especially in Spain. Spain, some of those fans in the grounds and stuff, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen him crying multiple times. It's awful, it's horrific. And, you know, it's one of those things where you say to yourself, I don't know why you're still playing there, but it doesn't matter where you move, you're probably going to get the same. There's bad fans everywhere. There's bad people everywhere. Nowhere, we're not living in heaven and kumbaya and everyone gets on great. This is just the world we live in. But how do we control this? How do we stop this from happening? It's the way we deal with these situations. Now, Mourinho was speaking to Vinicius Jr. on the pitch. Mbappe was talking to them all. And then when I then heard Mourinho's press conference after, I thought, okay, cool. He's going to give us something insightful to what was said. And he did. He just kind of dismissed it and said, well, Vinny, this happened to him many times in loads of different stadiums. So it is what it is. And that for me was very, very alarming, because that's almost saying it's okay to racially abuse Vinicius Jr. because it happens to him all the time. And it's okay. That's when the authoritative figures have to do something now. They have to make this a bigger thing than what it is. They have to make an example of this player to say, you know, it's not okay. Not just, it's beyond the racist part. It's about the Vinicius Jr. part, because it seems to be him that's always getting segregated to this animosity and being targeted. Now, me growing up, watching John Barnes be racially abused, or Paul Ince, or Ian Wright, I just thought that was part and parcel of the game. I played football until I was like 19, 20. I got racially abused when I was playing, and depending on what, and it was depending on what part of the country I was playing in. If I was playing in a certain area in Hertfordshire, there was just certain teams I knew there was a racial undertone, and it riled us up even more. It made us play even better. It just made us play better. I'm not saying we accepted it. I'm not saying it's okay, but what could we do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. We're here to play football. You know, if your dads are on the pitch screaming, you fuck, you black this, sorry for swearing, you darkie, you P word. We didn't even have any Asian players in our team, but we heard the P word many a time. And we're like, who are they talking to? There's no Asian players even in our side. That's how racist it was. They just using any word to get at us. And yeah, some of the white dads, I remember some of the white dads used to be fighting on our side. They'd go and fight the dads, you know? Yeah, it was crazy, but it was part and parcel of the game. But to be getting racially abused by players, I think that is where, for me, it's a bit different. The fans, you expect it. I expected it growing up. When my son starts playing football, I'll expect it again. I just will. But I had it, I've seen it. I'm not going to be going there with my eyes like covered in wool thinking that we're living in this 2006 and everything's changed. It's the same gritty world that I grew up in. This is a working class sport. It's everyone's playing there for passion. They want to win. People are going to say things to wind people up, and that's part of what it is. It is what it is. But I wouldn't expect like a dad to be racially abusing my son. That's crazy. I wouldn't expect players, kids, okay, because they get it from their families, whatever, but professionals at work, these guys are professional footballers at work. I wouldn't expect players to be saying using racial slurs or racial language to other professional players. But, I've seen stuff saying, he's from Argentina, so it's expected. And this is another, is it expected? Do we just say, he's from Argentina, so you've got to expect it? No. I wouldn't expect to hear Messi say anything like that. I just wouldn't. So why him? Why is he allowed? So yeah, my thoughts on it, I've watched Mika Richards speak. I watched Henri speak about it very well. Clarence Seedorf on the night, very, very articulate and explained the signals. I think he must be working behind the scenes with a lot of the stuff that's going on to kick racism out of football, which is the type of stuff we need in the game. Wayne Rooney as well, very insightful for the stuff he said about the MLS league. I don't rate that league. They don't call it football. I don't know what's going on over there. It's not soccer, it's football. The World Cup's over there and they call it soccer. It's crazy. But anyway, he said that I think the player can be sacked or fined. I can't remember what he said. I think they might have been sacked. But yeah, there's like an instant reaction, which is, I think that's what's needed. Say Clarence Seedorf was saying it could take up to 3 months to anything to happen. And that's like, it's too long. The player needs to be, look, with social media now, VAR, we're very much a visual society. We see what's going on. People are going to say, yeah, but players talk to themselves all the time with their hands covered and this, that, the other. There's mics everywhere. I guarantee there's a microphone that would have picked up what was said. 110%. 110%. There's mics, I don't know how many mics on the pitch, but I guarantee there's more than 50 mics around that pitch. But I feel like the reaction from UEFA really, hopefully, is sturdy. And Benfica need to come out and do something as well as a club. Mourinho said, your best player is Eusebio. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. That was in the 70s, 80s, before I was even watching football. I remember my granddad showing me Eusebio. I'm thinking, this is in black and white, fam. When was this from? But that doesn't mean nothing. That's like the racist guy down the pub saying, yeah, but I got black mates. Do you know what I mean? I ain't racist. I got a black mate called Leroy. Bro, that doesn't mean nothing. You can still be racist. Bro, you can be racist. A white guy can be racist and have a black girlfriend. I'm black. I could be racist and have an Asian girl. This is crazy talk. You as a person and how you handle yourself on a daily says a lot about you. And I feel that these people that come out with these random racial comments or just crazy comments, even that are not racist, that says who they are. When someone shows you who they are, you better believe them. And this Argentinian player, I hope he gets as much stick as possible. I hope he gets fined. I hope the man then deal with him on the pitch in the next game, in the Benfica League, in the next Champions League. I hope he gets stuck on him, man. I really hope something, this should be made a massive thing now. But yeah, out to Vinny. I hope he's okay. I know he won't be because he won't be able to get away from this for the next 3-4 days. And he's got to put it to the back of his mind and play this team again in the second leg. Does this player get dropped? Should he be playing? Who knows? But guys, I know it's not my usual video, but I first wanted to touch on the subject, something that was bugging me last night, and I woke up thinking about it, so I thought, I'd give my perspective, my opinion. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you like, share, subscribe. Peace.